Today from Pope Francis. It is the playoffs, the moments we've been waiting for. It is the Western Mass semifinals today between Pope Francis and South Hadley. I'm AJ Gonzalez, the voice of the Cardinals, bringing you this live and exclusive action right here on Pope Prep. Today it is Pope Francis looking to make it mission accomplished. Thus far, South Hadley has taken an early 1-0 lead on Pope Francis, but we're still just about a minute into this one. AJ Gonzalez, glad you can be with us. Ready to give you the best high school live streaming experience in the country as we are set to begin and get ready to go here on Pope Prep. Dan Bez will start it off and I'll move it over to Rich Roy. Roy on the far left side, as you see him, the senior, heading to RPI next fall. Rich Roy had hit a post early on in this one. Closest the Cardinals came to a goal, South Hadley took it the other way and scored. And that's where things stand as we welcome you in here to the broadcast booth. AJ Gonzalez with you as Michael Wolanski has it for Pope. Here's Mike. Mike trying to fire in a shot, but the save is eventually made there by South Hadley. Ziggy and Mike are both going to try to touch it, but eventually Ziggy will get there. Here he is. Ziggy moving in the round. Nice passing here from Pope. It's Rich Roy. Rich Roy. Roy cutting it back. Here's Gage Spalaga. When Gage is going, the Cardinals are almost unstoppable. Gage trying to go and get to work. He gets taken down. Before we can do anything else, we're going to have a whistle. See what the officials decide to do. I believe it's going to stay Pope Francis possession. Andrick over to Wolanski. Here's Mike. Mike back. Here's Jason Reiser. Reiser looking around. Finds his man. It's Roy. Roy having a hard time handling things. South Hadley trying to get there. Roy trying to get there as well. Dogfight for it now. Roy still trying to get it, and finally he does. Here's Rich Roy. Roy finding his man. It's Mike Wolanski. Again, glad you can be with us. Reminder, folks, to like this content, subscribe to this channel. No matter where you are listening and no matter how you are listening, we thank you for tuning in today. Exciting game here on Pope Prep. Yesterday was a barn burner as well. Pope Francis baseball will be playing in the final at Springfield College on Tuesday as the Cardinals try to fire it in, and they do. It's Connor Andrick getting on the board for Pope Francis, and just like that, the Cardinals tie it up with the senior leadership of Connor Andrick. Andrick, the man, heading to UTampa in the fall. Pot's the first one of the night for Pope Francis, and with that being said, the Cardinals come back to tie it one apiece with 8:47 to go in the opening quarter. Again, just getting things underway. Exciting day. Pope Francis trying to continue the dominant season that they've had thus far. Face-off coming in here for Dan Bez. Here's Bez. Bez, a little spinorama and shake and bake. Bez trying to fire it in over to Rich Roy. Roy has it for Pope Francis on the left side. Here's Rich. Rich cutting it back. Andrick has it for Pope Francis. Pope Francis won, South Hadley won. Even Steven here on Pope Prep. Again, baseball yesterday, barn burner. Ryan O'Leary, complete game shutout. Cardinals 2-0 win over Westfield. They're going to take on West Springfield in the final. As Connor Andrick has it here, trying to fire on a shot. That one will carry him to the left side and will head out of bounds. It'll be Pope possession. Gage Spalaga got there first, and Gage will bring us back into play as well. Gage Spalaga, the man that'll be heading to Springfield College in the fall. Spalaga looking for space. Trying to get the party started here for Pope Francis. Trying to get on the board and give the Cardinals the lead. 1-1 tie. Could have been 2-1 if Rich Roy didn't hit a post. In the first minute of this game, Spalaga. Spalaga back around. Here's Ziggy. Ziggy quickly working it over to Mike Wolanski. Wolanski. Looking around, trying to create some space. That was Reiser, rather, who fed it over to Wolanski. Wolanski has it. Here he is. Wolanski back over to Reiser. Here's Jason. Jason Reiser looking to cut it around. He'll fire it back. Here's Roy. Roy chipping it back to Andrick. Andrick on over to Ziggy. Ziggy back around. Nice passing here from Pope. Wolanski. Mike Wolanski. Senior to senior it goes. It's Jason Reiser. 7:20 to go. Opening quarter. 1-1 tie. Winner of this will advance to the final. Cardinals going to try to fire in a shot. But eventually that one will head over the net, and it will stay Pope Francis possession. Jason Reiser trying to fire on the shot. Karam's over the net. Cardinals still with possession, trying to get on the board and trying to take the lead. Very in the early stages of this first quarter against South Hadley. Spalaga has it. Spalaga looking the other way. He finds his man. It's Jason Reiser. Reiser slotted into the attack position right now. He's looking A-OK. Ziggy Buffon has been slid back, rather, to the midfield position. Nice change there from Coach John Sheehan and the guys. Here's Spurlonga. Spurlonga trying to get the Gage train going, but eventually that one will carry him to the right after a nice shot on goal by Senor Gage. Eventually it'll be Jake Jarrell taking it for Pope Francis. Or excuse me, not Jake Jarrell. Man, oh man. Remember Jake Jarrell from his hockey days? Playing here, but on the defensive side this evening for Pope Francis. As Connor Ondrick has it for Pope Francis. Here he is. It's Ondrick. Connor Ondrick, the U-Tampa man, trying to fire it in. But eventually the save is made there by South Hadley. Tigers trying to take it out of their own end. Ziggy Buffon trying to give them a run for their money. But eventually the Tigers will take possession. Around the 30-yard line they have it. Moving it in. Tic-tac-toe. No, they can't stuff it home. South Hadley could have had a goal. Wide open they were. But eventually at the end of it, things fell apart. Here's Davis. Matt Davis over to Troy. Lloyd with space. Finds his man. It's Ryan Goki. Goki over to Gage. All aboard the Gage train. Again, when Gage is rolling, this Cardinal team is really unstoppable. Connor Ondrick, the one goal for Pope Francis. 5:31 to go. Opening quarter. Not a lot of stoppages. It's been a lot of good, consistent lacrosse thus far. Ondrick. Ondrick looking for space. He finds his man. It's Michael Wolanski. Wolanski heading to Fairfield. And this lacrosse team this year is made up of seniors and more seniors, as Dan Bez has it. The spinorama, the shake to the bake. Jukebox Bez, like we like to call him. Bez will move it back over to Mike Wolanski around the 40-yard line. He has it. Mike Wolanski, soccer player as well. He'll try to fire on a shot. Save made here by South Hadley. Rebound. Roy looking for it. Eventually Ziggy Buffon will pick it up. He'll move it back to Dan Bez. Dan Bez swirling it on over to Gage Spurlonga on the ground. Gage able to coop it in. Moving it inside. Gage will cut back out. Around the 20-yard line is Gage. Gage trying to get something going before he can do anything else. The referees decide it will be South Hadley possession. Tigers will take over with 4:41 to go in the opening quarter. Means that the defensive alignment will come back on for the Pope Francis team as Jarrell and Feely will trot back out. South Hadley quickly trying to take it the other way. On the 25-yard line they have it, quickly working it into the Pope zone. Deep in the zone now they are. Going to try to shake and bake, trying to cut it back. 4:25 to go, opening quarter. Even Steven, one apiece. South Hadley, nice ball movement to start us out. Looking for space they are now. Trying to cut it inside, trying to fire on a shot, but that one will eventually carry him out of bounds. Will be South Hadley possession still. Cardinals looking for a reprieve on the defensive side. Matt Davis back in net after missing that Minnechaw game. And a staple of the Cardinal lacrosse team the past 2 years. Didn't even know if he was going to be a goalie freshman year, and now he's blossomed into quite a star for Pope Francis between the pipes. Tigers trying to move it around, trying to shake and bake and take the lead at Pope Francis. Uncommon thing that we've only said a few times this year as South Hadley will fire that shot right over the net. South Hadley will move back in. 3:23 to go, opening quarter. Both these teams starting to feel each other out. Look for any edges they can get in a 1-1 tie. Nice space here from the Tigers. Trying to calm things down, they are. Fans still filing in to see this playoff game today. Again, winner advances to the final. Will it be South Hadley or Pope Francis? That's the question. The Tigers taking it behind the net. They have it. Taking their sweet time. Looking for the best possible outlet. Cardinals looking for defense. Tigers trying to fire at a shot, but eventually it's a save. It's a save for Matt Davis. He covers up with 2:23 to go. Opening quarter, flying right by here on Pope Prep. It's Dan Bez who has it for Pope Francis now. Bez moving to the round, finds his man. It's Jason Reiser. Reiser with space and steam. He'll move it over to Rich Roy. 2:10 to go, opening quarter. 1-1 tie Can the Cardinals take the lead here? It's Ondrick looking for his second. Ondrick still moving around, trying to do a little shake and bake. Wolanski. Fast feet. Here comes Mike. The shake. The bake to the right side he goes, trying to fire in something. That one caroms in. Did it carom in? I think it did. I think Gage Spelonga has a goal. He does. Gage puts it in, and just like that for Pope Francis, they have a 2-1 lead with 1:46 to go in the first quarter. So Pope Francis able to fight back. Down 1-0. Scored 2 straight to make it a 2-1 affair. So 2-1. The lead now for Pope Francis. Trying to close the first quarter on a high note. That would be a good way to end it. Bez will take the face-off for Pope Francis. Face-off won by Bez. Bez is still in a dogfight for it. Feely trying to get in there. Long tie-up, and eventually South Hadley will come away with it. South Hadley trying to give something here, but the Cardinal defense is just too much. Who do you know? It's Dan Bez. Bez quickly working in the South Hadley territory. I'll kick it back to Connor Ondrick now. Here's Ondrick. Ondrick trying to create some space. 1:20 to go, opening quarter. Can the Cardinals strike one more time to give themselves a nice 2-goal advantage? Wolanski over to Reiser. Here's Jason. Jason kicking it back. Wolanski has it. Wolanski. Looking around, creating space still. Finds his man. It's Connor Ondrick. Ondrick to Spelonga. All aboard the Gage train. Gage, long leaping pass to Rich Roy. 44 seconds to go. Opening quarter. There's Roy. Roy to Wolanski. Mike Wolanski, 35 seconds to go. Wolanski trying to fire in a shot. Big save made there by South Hadley. I believe one of the defensemen for South Hadley actually blocked that shot. 28 seconds to go. Roy trying to fire in a shot. Goes all the way to his right and fires it in top right corner. Bullseye. Money in the bank. Batman and Robin getting it done for Pope Francis. That's Gage Spelonga and Rich Roy with one each. Ondrick with one as well. 3-1. The Cardinal advantage. 2-goal lead now for Pope Francis. How about that? Cardinals continue to roll. In the big moments, it's the big men of Rich Roy and Gage Spelonga getting it done. 26 seconds to go, opening quarter. Pope Francis went down 1-0 early on. 3 straight goals are giving him a 3-1 lead. Here's Bez off the faceoff, trying to take it the other way quickly. Roy trying to fire a shot. He scores! Rich Roy with 2 goals in about 10 seconds. And just like that, it is 4-1 Pope Francis. What a turn of events. Rich Roy gets on the field, but bullseyes all over the place. 4-1. The lead for Pope Francis. Look out, South Hadley. The Roy train is rolling. The Spelonga train's rolling. 4-1. 15.8 seconds to go, opening quarter. This late first quarter period has been excellence for Pope Francis on the offensive ends, catching goal 4 times. 6 seconds to go, opening quarter. South Hadley trying to get one back here before the clock expires. The shot going to go all the way into the track, and with 1.8 seconds to go, it'll be Pope Francis possession. They'll have to say a prayer and a little bit of a miracle, too, but I think they're just going to play it in. It's Ryan Goki with an extra long stick, and that's it. Double zeros on the clock. First quarter comes to a close. Second quarter is next right here on Pope Prep. Cardinals end the quarter with a 4-1 lead. Stay tuned. Champions play here. Back in a flash exclusively on Pope Prep. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Cardinals up 4-1. Reminder for you to visit our sister station. They are picking up the Pope Francis Granby game, the girls lacrosse game. Pope Francis, a blazing start for them, too. They're in the second half, 14-7. It's a football score over there. The Cardinals lead. So for Pope Francis, looks like they could be adding another title to their women's successful season in the women's sports. As back here in this lacrosse game, the game is opened up for Pope Francis, 4-1. The lead as we begin the second quarter. A.J. Gonzalez, voice of the Cardinals, alongside with you here. Caleb Gilmet is running the stats board and camera and everything else around here. I'd like to thank Henry Huey and Andrew Serrazina for making the trip out to Granby as we're ready to continue here on Pope Prep. South Hadley has it, trying to get something going before they can. We have a whistle and a little bit of a stoppage here as South Hadley will still have possession. Teams switch sides. Cardinals now will work from left to right of your screen. And South Hadley will work from the right to the left. Sunny skies. Beautiful day here at Pope Francis. Beautiful weather, too. Memorial Day weekend. I think it's going to be sun, 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 and a little bit of more sun. So, fun activities outside, barbecues. It's going to be okay weather for events like that. South Hadley trying to get on the board. It's been 4 straight Cardinal goals. South Hadley needs an answer. Nice ball movement to start out the second quarter. South Hadley looking for space, trying to fire it in a shot, and that one will head into the wrong net. Heads into the soccer net and will deflect out of play. It actually lands into the fence, so someone after the game is going to have to go rip out a lacrosse ball from the fence. South Hadley with possession. 11:04 to go, second quarter. Game starting to fly by here on Pope Prep. And little stoppages. I believe the only stoppage we've had thus far is the first quarter timeout. Playing right into Pope Francis' strength right now. Fast-paced, quick game. A lot of the Pope players, athletes, and other forms of the Pope Francis community, so they know a thing or two about speed. As South Hadley will look for a little shake and bake. They fall down. Flag is going to fly. So Pope Francis is going to be a down a man for a minute here once Pope gets possession back. As South Hadley will still look for space, trying to fire it in. Tic-tac, kaboom! Matt Davis makes the save. Or it was right into his stick, and before we can do anything else, we're going to have a 1-minute stoppage here. So it appears that Ryan Goki will be taking a knee for Pope Francis. Cardinals looking for some defense. South Hadley with a man advantage for a minute. Ryan Goki on one knee, so no more Goki. South Hadley will look to attack now. Down by 3 is South Hadley. Not in a great spot right now with South Hadley, trying to fight their way back. Jarrell trying to get there for defense. South Hadley. South Hadley looking for space. Trying to create it they are. Going around the horn is South Hadley. South Hadley kicking it back, trying to fire in an airborne shot. But eventually that one will miss the net, goes to the left of the net, and it'll head out of bounds. South Hadley will still retain possession. Goki will still be down on a knee. His minute clock hasn't expired. South Hadley looking around, trying to fire on a slingshot. Save made there by Davis. Rebound is going to be picked up by Ondrick, and just like that, the Cardinals are even Steven. Back to even strength they are. Here's Connor Ondrick. Ondrick fighting through, going for speed, down the right side of the field. Ondrick trying to go coast to coast. Here's Connor trying to fire a shot. He gets taken down. What an effort and what a run that was by Connor Ondrick. And eventually, South Hadley will eventually be able to pick it up. Connor Ondrick almost went coast to coast from his own end. It was a burst of speed, but cannot capitalize for Pope Francis and put it on the board. South Hadley will go tumbling and take a taste of the turf, trying to get to that one as it heads out near the 25-24-yard line, actually. Cardinals will take possession as South Hadley took a tumble. Enzo LaCory checking in the game as Reiser has it. Moving it around. Nice passing here from Pope Francis. Rich Roy, the playmaker, to say the least, for Pope Francis, setting up a lot of Pope Francis goals this season. Spurlonga. Here's Gage. Gage Spurlonga around the 30-yard line. Has possession. Gage looking around, trying to create space, trying to fire in a shot. That one will head out of bounds. It will be Pope Francis possession. Jason Reiser was the first man to it, so he'll take possession. 8:39 to go, second quarter. 4-1 lead for the Cardinals. Here they come, looking to create some space. Reiser, spinorama, shake and bake, trying to maybe center one out in front. He'll stop on a dime again. He'll look things over still. Reiser to Wolanski. There's Mike. Wolanski looking around. Creating space. Rich Roy. Roy going to stop on a dime. Back near the soccer net. Soccer player himself and a basketball player as well. Three-sport athlete is Rich Roy. Roy still looking for space, trying to get inches, trying to fire it in. He does! Rich Roy with a goal, and he's got himself a hat trick. Rich Roy puts it in, and just like that, for Pope Francis, it's a 5-1 lead with 7:46 to go in the second quarter. The Cardinals are starting to score at a rapid pace now, and for South Hadley, it could be troublesome. Cardinals up by 4, 5 straight Pope Francis goals after the South Hadley goal less than a minute into the game. Face-off coming in. Bez will just flip it back. Sam Graham trying to get there. Man goes flying for South Hadley, and I think it's going to be a whistle here. I think it's going to be South Hadley possession as a South Hadley player tripped over the long stick of Sam Graham. South Hadley. With space. Making the player on the 40-yard line. They have it. 7:18 to go. Second quarter. Passing it around the horn of South Hadley. Again, folks, Pope Francis live stream against Granby. About to finish up. Cardinals putting on finishing touches. They're going to be playing some postseason lacrosse as well. So we'll have all those games for you right here on Pope Prep. As the Tigers have possession. Tigers looking around. Trying to create space deep down the field. The Cardinals looking for defense. Tigers looking around still. Cardinals with pressing defense. Cam Gillis leading the Great Wall of White. 6:20 to go here in the first half. Before we can do anything else, we've got a whistle. And we got a timeout. So first timeout of the game is called by South Hadley. They'll take timeout with 6:17 to go in the second quarter. We'll step aside. Cardinals up 5-1, 4-goal lead. Comfortable position, familiar position for Pope Francis. Let's see if they can close. Second quarter coming up next. Stay tuned. Champions play here. Rest of this game and the rest of the second quarter is next on Pope Prep. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to resume. Cardinals up by 4, 6:17 to go, second quarter. AJ Gonzalez, voice of the Cardinals, alongside with you. Cardinals looking like a championship caliber team, taking care of business thus far. On the home field, South Hadley going to try to wrap around and fire in a shot. That one will head out of bounds. It will be Pope possession. Matt Davis will have it. Davis, quick pass, Rich Roy. Roy around the 50-yard line with steam. Here comes Roy. Roy already 3 goals today, leading the Cardinal attack. Roy has it for Pope. Looking for space. Finds his man. It's Bez. Bez back to Ondrick. Here's Connor. Ondrick. Dan Bez. Bez cutting back for Pope. We got a whistle and a stoppage. South Hadley going to try to take it up around the 30-yard line. They have it. South Hadley trying to fire on a shot, and they score. How about that? Didn't see that one coming. South Hadley finally gets back on the board, making it a 5-2 game with 4:54 to go. So South Hadley, good opportunity for them. They capitalize and make it a 5-2. Cardinal leads, 3-goal advantage for Pope Francis. I've just gotten word that the Pope Francis Cardinal ladies have officially beaten Granby today by a final of 15-11. Granby tried to come back, but Cardinals held on to their guns and won that game by a final of 15-11. Make sure to see all scoring updates and changes and when games will be. This is the Pope Francis Prep Athletics page on the Pope Francis Prep website. So congratulations to girls lacrosse. Big win today at Granby. Face off coming in. Dan Bez wins it cleanly. Here come the Cardinals. It's Jake Jarrell. Jarrell around midfield. He has it. To the 40-yard line, to the 30 he goes. Here's Jarrell. Jarrell with space and steam. Jarrell. Back to Ondrick. Here's Connor. Connor Ondrick. Looking for space. Finds Wolanski. Wolanski. Over to Bezrachenko. There's Dan Bez. Cam Gillis going to come out. Reiser going to come in. Cardinals with Dan Bez. Bez back. There's John Henry View. John moving it over. Finds Roy. Roy over to Wolanski. Mike Wolanski. Has it. 30-yard line. Wolanski cutting it back. He finds his man. It's Ondrick. Here's Connor. Connor Ondrick. To Mike Wolanski. Wolanski back to Connor. Connor to Wolanski. Money Mike. I'd like to send a very special congratulations to the class of 2023 who will be having their graduation very, very soon, June 1st to be exact. So next week, it's going to be a graduation for them, and they are going to be officially alumni here at Pope Francis as Wolanski will try to fire on a shot. That one will head out of bounds. It will be Pope Francis possession with Rich Roy steaming over there to make sure that it will be Pope possession as he has it here. Here's Roy. John Henry View. There's John Henry. John moving it back. Cardinals have it. So Rich Roy, 2:53 to go in the second quarter. 5-2, Cardinal lead. Roy. Roy back to Wolanski. Mike Wolanski. Wolanski looking for Roy. Roy has it, does he? Yes, he does. He plays it in. What a play there by Rich Roy to keep that one alive. But eventually South Hadley will take possession. Good effort from Roy, but South Hadley able to recoup things and get it back. 2:20 to go, 5-2 lead as South Hadley fires in a deep pass around the 40. Here they have it. 30-yard line trying to take it. Jarrell trying to play some defense along with Nick Cody. South Hadley on the far right side. They have possession. Trying to move it around, trying to create some space. Reminder, folks, like this content, subscribe to our channel. We're producing unique and original content like this every single day of the week. So no matter where you are, and however you may be listening today, we thank you. South Hadley looking around. 1:48 to get something done. They'll head into the halftime break. We're down 5-2, an advantage for Pope Francis. South Hadley looking around, trying to create some space. Cardinals looking for some defense, and they'll get it. It's Nick Cody. Cody with space. I'll move it over to Matt Davis. Davis. Over to Rich Roy. There's Roy. To Connor Roderick. Rich Roy. Roy with space. Roy has his man. It's Ziggy Buffon. Ziggy working it back. Roy. Roy to Sperlonga. Cardinals looking to fire it in, and they do! Cardinals put it in. It's Ziggy getting the job done. Zach Buffon puts it in. Star defenseman for Pope Francis in hockey. Getting it done here on the turf as well with 41.7 to go. In the second quarter, Zach makes it a 6-2 Cardinal lead. 4-goal advantage now for the Cardinals to work with in this Western Mass semifinal. Face off coming in for Bez. 40 seconds to go in the second quarter. South Hadley trying to end the half on a high note. They'll fire on a shot, but the save will comfortably be made by Matt Davis. Davis got to watch the clock. Time's ticking. 26 seconds to go. Davis, tick, tick, tick says the time. He'll hold it. On the 35, he fires a perfect pass to Nick Cody. Cody rumbling to the 30-yard line. Cody going to try to fire on a shot, but eventually the save is made by South Hadley. They'll try to quickly work it the other way. 8 seconds to go. Trying to quickly work it up. Look out. South Hadley, one last opportunity. They can't capitalize. Rich Roy with defense. He'll fire up a lob and say a prayer, and that will do it. Half comes to an end. Cardinals head into the break up 6-2. Coming up, we've got the halftime report live right here on Pope Prep, because this is where the champions play. Stay tuned. Cardinal Lacrosse continues next. All right, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. Just about ready to set to begin the second half right here on Pope Prep and exclusively on Pope Prep. AJ Gonzalez, voice of the Cardinals, is alongside with you here. Cardinals up 6-2 as we begin the second half of the third quarter. Bezrachenko trying to get in there to start it out. And we're going to have a flag right off the gate here in the third quarter on Pope Francis. South Hadley quickly going to try to take it the other way, trying to create space. They have it, down 4. Their Western Mass championship hopes are on the line. I believe they stepped out of bounds. So Dan Bez will take a knee for a minute. So South Hadley will have possession. They'll also have a man advantage. For a minute, 11:42 to go in this third quarter. I believe South Hadley had to move a ball out of the way. So man advantage begins for South Hadley. Can they strike? Down 4 at Pope Francis. South Hadley moving it around nicely. Trying to create space, look for the best possible shot. Nice movement. Tic-tac-toe goes South Hadley, and they put it in with the man advantage. They score and make it a 3-goal Cardinal lead and make this game a 6-3 affair. So the visitors of South Hadley are able to get one back. That'll make it a 6-3 game. Cardinals have had a good showing to this point. Goal for South Hadley. Makes it 6-3. $11:15 to go in the third quarter. Before we can do anything else, Dan Bez is going to be called for an infraction on the face-off. So South Hadley will take possession. Good start for them in the second half. South Hadley looking for space. 11:06 to go. So again, Pope Francis girls lacrosse final over Granby 15-11. Granby had a little bit of a comeback towards the end, but it was not enough. Cardinals won that game by 4. They'll head back on the bus with a victory. Cardinals looking for a victory in this game. South Hadley with space. Down by 3. And they need some more goals. Is South Hadley. Nice cut in. Dan Bez with the defense. Gets there for Pope Francis. They'll try to work it in the other way now. Bez moving it up to Jake Jarrell. Here's Jarrell with space. Down the left side of the field. Great effort by Jake Jarrell. But I think it's going to be South Hadley possession. Okay. So South Hadley will take it. I think Jarrell got bounced out of bounds. So South Hadley will take over. Good run by Jarrell. I thought he was going to take it coast to coast again. Do apologize to Mr. Jarrell. Not being able to capture the film of his goal. The game against Minnechaug. It's a nice one too, but unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we could not get that one. Talked to some folks at Minnechaug about seeing if they could help us out by getting that film, but feel bad for Mr. Jarrell. Missed his first goal on the big turf, but with 9:46 to go, the Cardinals are up 3. Bad pass there. Finally picked up by Jake Jarrell. Speaking of the devil, Jarrell has it. Fires a clean pass to his defensive partner on the ice, Zach Buffone. Ziggy will move it over to Wolanski. Here's Mike. Mike Wolanski trying to fire in a shot on the floor on the board style, but eventually the save is made by South Hadley. So South Hadley trying to drop a nice start here in the second half they had. They have thus far. That wasn't nice there. Goki will take it. South Hadley tried to go for a long bomb pass, but the Cardinals eventually take it the other way. Now deep into South Hadley territory, it's Roy. Roy trying to cut it inside to Ziggy for a shot, but the save is eventually made by the Tigers. Tigers will try to get it out of their own end. Cardinals looking for some nice play at the midfield position. Enzo LaCorey trying to get in there, along with Jason Reiser. LaCorey looking for it, and eventually Reiser will come away with it, but before he can, we've got a whistle. It's going to be South Hadley possession. South Hadley looking around, trying to create space, trying to fire a shot. They score. Flag is down. South Hadley. They needed a good third quarter, and they're getting it right now. They score and put it in. They make it a 6-4 game. And I think we're going to have a timeout. Yep. It's going to... We're going to have a timeout. We'll step aside. 30-second pause here on Pope Prep. Stay tuned. Champions play here. Cardinals now only up by 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 6-4. The lead for Pope Francis. Josh Ivey is here. Not in uniform today for Pope Francis. He's out. Cheering on his team from the sidelines today is Josh Ivey, hockey hero. Dan Bez will take the draw. South Hadley have had a nice resurgence here in this second half, netting 2 goals here in the early stages of the third quarter. Pope Francis trying to hold on to the lead. Daniel Bezrachenko has it for Pope. Here's Bez. Big Bez looking around. Finds his man. It's Wolanski. Wolanski over to Ziggy. Ziggy back to Jason Reiser. Reiser flipping it over to Roy. Here's Rich Roy. Roy with space. He's got it. Here's Rich to Andrick. Connor Andrick to Jason Reiser. Reiser back over to Andrick. Here's Connor. Connor. Stick to Roy. Back around. It's Spurlonga. Here's Gage. All aboard the Gage train to Roy. Roy trying to fire on a shot. That one will head just to the right of the net and eventually wind up on the track. So Pope will hold possession here. It's Mike Wolanski. Here's Mike. Mike looking around, trying to create space. Mike moving it back to Roy. Roy on over to Connor Andrick. Andrick with steam and space, finds his man Roy. Here's Rich. Rich Roy, spinorama. Roy trying to cut it back to Spurlonga, goes over his head, and eventually goes to Andrick. Here's Connor. Connor to Gage. Gage. So Reiser. Jason. Moving in the round, trying to get there was Odrick, but eventually South Hadley will try to take it. Ziggy trying to get there. Cardinals will have to get back. Wolanski trying to get there. Roy trying to help out as well. Tigers have an empty net. Cardinals can't seize the opportunity. Eventually South Hadley will take it the other way. On the right side they have it. Trying to fire on a shot. They do. They score. South Hadley coming back. Look out, Pope Francis. Trouble in paradise maybe. Cardinals now only up by 1. 6-5, the lead for the Cardinals. South Hadley, big-time goal. 6:48 to go, third quarter. South Hadley. 4 straight. And they've made it a 6-5 Cardinal lead. 1 goal advantage. Then all South Hadley in this third quarter. Face-off coming in for Dan Bez. Cardinals, you got to get this thing going back on track. Bez. Rich Roy. Roy has it. Here's Rich. Rich to Reiser. Reiser over to Ondrick. Here's Connor. Connor Ondrick. Reiser. Back over to Roy. Here's Rich Roy. Roy with space. Roy trying to fire on a shot. Save made there by South Hadley. Tigers starting to come back a bit. Cardinals trying to get back now. Tigers taking it the other way quickly. Around the 30-yard line, they have it. South Hadley looking in, trying to fire in a shot. Save is made by Matthew Davis. He covers up. 5:45 to go, third quarter. Cardinals trying to hang on. Rough spot right now. Here's Ondrick. Connor Ondrick loses the stick and the ball, but eventually we'll get it back. We're going to do anything else. We've got a whistle, and it's going to be going the way of South Hadley. So South Hadley, deep into the Cardinal zone, can tie the game with a goal. Tigers, nice possession, nice movement. South Hadley looking around, trying to cut it inside, moving it around nicely. South Hadley, they'll take it back around the 35-yard line. They have it. South Hadley trying to fire on a shot. And the save is made by Matt Davis. Davis will try to move it up. Here come the Cardinals. It's Jason Reiser. Reiser at the 50. Here he goes. Reiser moving it in deep into South Hadley territory. Trying to fire it in. Spalunga! He scores! Gage train rolling. Cardinals put it in. And just like that, the Cardinals get a goal. It is 7-5 for Pope Francis. Gage Spalunga. Big goal, the big moment for the big man. He puts it in. All aboard the Gage train go the Cardinals, and just like that, it is 7-5. Pope Francis, they finally get a goal back. It's Gage Spalunga netting the first one here in the third quarter for the Cardinals, and it is 7-5 Pope Francis with 4:33 to go in the third quarter. Face-off coming in. Daniel Bezrachenko has it, quickly moving it into South Hadley territory. Roy trying to get there, trying to make the play. Roy to Spalunga, back to Roy it goes. Here's Ziggy. Ziggy over to Connor Ondrick. Ondrick. With Steve in space, he finds his man. It's Roy. Roy, moving it around. Trying to shake and bake and fire on a shot. Airborne goes Rich Roy. He puts it in. 8-5. The lead for Pope Francis. And just like that, the Cardinals put it in. South Hadley in trouble. Rich Roy continues to dominate today. MVP of the day thus far. Puts in another one. And finally, the Cardinals have some answers in this second half. 8-5 the lead for the Cardinals. Face off, going in. It's Dan Bez. He's going to try to go coast to coast off the draw. Bez scores! Dan Bez goes coast to coast in 4 seconds and puts it in. Cardinals starting to romp it now. 9-5. The lead for Pope Francis. They can smell a final appearance. Dan Bez off the draw goes coast to coast from the 50 and puts it in. And with 3:39 to go, third quarter, 9-5 is the lead for the Cardinals. Bez again wins the draw. Quickly trying to move it up to Roy. Roy will flip it over to Spurlonga. How about Gage? He's got it. Spurlonga back to Reiser. 3:26 to go. Third quarter. Cardinals looking to add on to a 4-goal lead. Trying to sweep the day is Pope Francis. Lacrosse program having a nice day. Spurlonga. Roy trying to fire on a shot. Save made by South Hadley. Rebound. Cardinals trying to stuff it home. But eventually the Tigers will recuperate and try to work it up the field. They have numbers coming in. South Hadley with space. Looking around and scrambling. They have it. South Hadley. Looking around. Creating space. Cardinals looking for defense. Tigers have it. Tigers cutting around, trying to fire on a shot. That one will eventually head out of bounds. It will be Tiger possession. 2:34 to go. Third quarter. Tigers could use a goal. Down by 4. Cardinals, later this third quarter is gone. They've looked better. It was all South Hadley to start it, but the Cardinals are having a nice finish to a quarter. That one will be a whistle. Will be Pope possession. Here's Reiser with speed around the 50. Reiser has it. Quickly crossing the 40. Reiser looking around. Finds his man. It's Rich Roy on that far left side. Rich Roy. We'll just hold the ball. 1:56 to go. Third quarter. Roy. Looking around, trying to fire on a shot. Roy, can he put it in? No. Save will be made by South Hadley. 1:45 to go in the third quarter. They're going to quickly try to move it up. Nice pass. Corralled in by South Hadley. South Hadley. Looking around with space, trying to move it around. They do. Nice passing, nice ball movement. 1:15 to go in the third quarter. 9-5. The lead for the Cardinals as Mike Wilansky takes a tumble onto the turf. 1:05 to go now. Tigers with steam. Trying to move it around. Less than a minute to go. 48 seconds. Tigers trying to fire at a shot. Save made by Davis. He kicks it out to around the 45-yard line. Big tumble from Reiser. Sends a man flying and a taste into the turf. Got all that on that 48-yard line. Reiser sent the man flying, but it will still be South Hadley possession. South Hadley with space. Trying to get something going. Trying to make it a 3-goal lead. As it currently sits, it's a 4-goal lead for the Cardinals. Great Wall of White will assemble. South Hadley will look for anything they can get at this point. Semifinal. Final will be next week. Who will advance? Cardinals looking like the team that's going to. That'll head out of bounds. It'll be South Hadley possession with 17.2 seconds to go. Third quarter. South Hadley going to try to fire it in. They score. They put it in. 9-6. South Hadley gets the goal they needed at the end of this third quarter. And just like that, it is 9-6 for Pope Francis. So Cardinals still with the lead. South Hadley able to make it a goal closer. It'll be 9-6 now. Face off coming in for Bezrachenko. Bez looking in, trying to fire a shot. That's it. Quarter's over. Cardinals going to head into the break in the third quarter. Up by 3. 0.2 seconds still on the board. South Hadley just going to run it in. That's it. Quarter's over. Cardinals with a 9-6 lead. Coming up, we've got the fourth quarter. Wins become losses. Losses become wins in this quarter. Who will it be heading to the final? We'll give you an answer. Coming up next, exclusively on Pope Prep. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the fourth quarter. Cardinals head in to the final 12 minutes, up by 3. Can they hold on the win and head to the final, or will it be South Hadley representing? We'll give that answer now. Face off coming in. Here's Bez. Has it for Pope Francis. Quickly moving it the other way. Team switch sides. Cardinals working from left to right of your screen, and South Hadley will be working from right to left. Set to continue. We are. Cardinals have possession. It's Enzo LaCorey. LaCorey creating space. Cardinals just trying to chew as much time as they can. Wolanski moving in the round, trying to find Spurlonga. Pass is picked off, though, by South Hadley. South Hadley having a hard time handling it in, and eventually the Cardinals will pick it up with Wolanski. Wolanski in front, Spurlonga! That's trouble. You can't leave Spurlonga open. Teams have learned that all year long. And now South Hadley is another victim to the Spurlonga Express. 10-6, the lead for the Cardinals. Game getting out of control. Cardinals starting to fight back. Face-off coming in for Bezrachenko. Bez loses a stick. South Hadley going to try to quickly work it the other way. The shot, they score, and it's 10-7. South Hadley is not done just yet. They put it in, and with 11:01 to go, fourth quarter, Cardinals up by 3 again. Face-off coming in for Bez. Bez, from the face-off position, has already scored once. Bez, looking around, went coast-to-coast earlier. Does he have another one in him here? Bez, I believe he doesn't. He's going to stop on a dime. He's probably going to defer. He will now. He says no to Jason Reiser initially. He'll move it to the 40, and he'll probably just dump it over to Andrick. He will. In the air goes to Andrick, takes a bounce on the turf, and winds up in the stick of Connor Andrick. Andrick looking around. He finds his man. It's Jason Reiser. Reiser quickly on over to Wolanski. Wolanski behind the net. Nice passing all the way around the horn. For Pope Francis, it's Roy. Here's Rich. Rich moving it back. Mike Wolanski. Wolanski. Looking for space. He's got it. Over to Rich Roy again. Robin has it. Can he find Batman? No, he'll defer instead to Mike Wolanski. Wolanski finds his man. It's Andrick. Andrick inside. Ziggy. Here's Zach Buffone trying to fire in a ground ball, but this defers out. Cardinals still trying to stuff it in. Winds up on the stick of Reiser, but then eventually deflects out and play it into the soccer net. So Gage Spurlonga will take possession. Cardinals going to try to fire in a shot, but eventually that one will head out of bounds. Wolanski will roll it in. Here's Mike. Mike looking around, finds his man. It's Reiser. 9:38 to go, 10-7. Lead for Pope as Andrick has it. Andrick. Back around, it's Zach Buffone. Here's Ziggy. Reiser. Reiser looking around, trying to find Spurlonga. It'll kick back to Mike Wolanski. Here's Mike. Rich Roy has got it. Here's Rich. Rich looking around, trying to create space. He gets taken down. No flag. Fourth quarter, 8:48 to go. Cardinals have a final appearance, a little breath in them, but eventually it's going to be a whistle and a shove to the ground. I believe South Hadley is going to be down for a minute here, so the Cardinals will have a man advantage in the South Hadley zone. Cardinals with possession. It's Rich Roy. Roy over to Andrick. Andrick firing it back. Reiser. Reiser back to Connor. Connor looking around. Rich. Rich to Andrick. Andrick looking inside, trying to find Reiser. Goes in and out of his stick. Cardinals will still look for it. It's Ziggy Buffone. Ziggy has it. Here he is. It's Zach. Zach looking back. Finds Andrick. Andrick around. Cardinals going to try to fire on a slingshot. Quickly there was Roy, but the save is made by South Hadley. Tigers still with life. 3-goal advantage for Pope Francis. Spurlonga trying to get back into the defensive ends. Ryan Goki gets shoved to the ground. No flag. South Hadley still has it with space. 8 minutes to go. Clock winding down on them. Spurlonga looking for some defense. He gets there. Nice play from Gage Spurlonga. Quickly, Ziggy Buffon has it. He'll find his man in transition. It's Spurlonga. Gage Spurlonga. Two-way player. No. He shoots it over the net. Getting on the defensive ends with Spurlonga. Getting on the offensive ends with Spurlonga. Could not finish the perfect play. But the Cardinals will still have possession. It'll be Andrick handling it for Pope Francis. 3-goal lead still. Tigers will take over. Bad pass intercepted by the Tigers. They have it around the 30-yard line. Quickly trying to take it in the other way. That one is going to head out of bounds with 7:18 to go. It'll be getting the way of Pope Francis. Tigers fighting as hard as they can. And before we can do anything else, we've got a timeout and a stoppage. 7:17 to go, fourth quarter. Cardinals up by 3, trying to hold on and head to the final. Stay tuned. Pope Prep Champions play here, back in a flash, exclusively on Pope Prep. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ready to keep going here on Pope Prep. Cardinals up by 3 with 7:17 to go. Western Mass Finals appearance on the brink here for these Cardinals. They win today. It will be a final appearance in the Western Mass Championship game. Davis will head back into his net. Lineup changes to report about. Jason Reiser has moved up to attack with Spurlonga and Ziggy. Rich Roy, they brought him back to midfield. So Goki, Roy, Wolanski is the midfield right now as we currently sit with Cody, Andrick, and Gillis on the defensive end. So changes here for Coach John Sheehan. And the Cardinals now will try to work it the other way. It's Connor Andrick. Andrick with steam. And space to the 30-yard line to the 25. Cardinals still looking around. A Reiser. Reiser over to Spurlonga. Spurlonga to Rich Roy. Here's Rich looking around, trying to fire on a shot. That one will head out of bounds and to the right of the goal. Cardinals will try to take it in now. They will. Here's Ziggy Buffon. He'll play us back in. Ziggy has it. 6:50 to go. Clock continues to roll. It's Wolanski. Wolanski will just hold it. Wasting as much time as he can. Wolanski looking around, just going to take a South Hadley player on his back. He has it. Wolanski kicking it back. Here come the Cardinals. Tic-tac-toe! Spurlonga shot heads out of bounds. It will still be Cardinal possession with 6:24 to go in the fourth quarter. with a 3-goal Cardinal advantage. Wolanski has it for Pope. Here's Mike. Wolanski kicking it back. Riser shot. Save made by South Hadley. They'll cover up. Tigers quickly trying to move it in the other way. Around the 50-yard line, they have it. Tigers looking for space. Moving it around. A little ground ball scooped in by the Tigers. Tigers, nice passing. 5:33 to go. Semifinal game. Who's going to the final? It looks like Pope Francis is. Can they hold out for 5 minutes and 25 seconds more? It will be a finals appearance. Cardinals looking for defense. It would be a nice season if the Cardinals were able to cap this one off with a Western Mass title as well. It would be a complete season of titles and a filled-up showcase in the events lobby. Big-time hit. Hold on. That was out of bounds. No call from the officials. Wow. Okay. I think it was Brody Fanouf who got hit out of bounds by South Hadley. They came in and collided with each other. That easily could have been a penalty. Riser going to try to take it in the other way. That'll head out of bounds and into the soccer net. That was a collision and a half if I've ever seen one. Big hit nonetheless on the sideline. Spraga! What a goal! He takes a South Hadley player, wears him like a backpack. Then Gage decides to go with a little back and attack. Spraga puts it in. 11-7, that might be the dagger. Gage Spraga, the big moment for the big man. And just like that, it is 11-7 for the Cardinals. Wears a South Hadley player like a backpack. Takes him on his back, goes a little behind the back shot, and it goes in. The trickster himself, with all the magic cards up his sleeve, he puts an ace on the table, and just like that, it is 11-7 for Pope Francis. You're really starting to smell a finals appearance now. Face-off coming in for the Cardinals. Cardinals trying to take it the other way with Dan Bezrachenko, but eventually the Tigers will get in the way. Cardinals still trying to get there. Bez has it. Here's Bez. Bez looking around, finds his man. It's Rich Roy. Roy with steam and space, but space eventually runs out. Cardinals will try to get there. Here's Spraga trying to get there as well. Spraga trying to make a play. Gage looking around before he can do anything else. But he got a flag flying way up in the air. The South Hadley players going to get a little whistle here, and he's going to head off for a minute. Frustration starting to boil over a bit for South Hadley. The Cardinals put one in here. It's going to be super hard for South Hadley to come back. Or will it be Ziggy taking a knee? Hang on. Just want to make sure. You get the call right. Okay, it's going to be Ziggy taking a knee. I think it's going to be a matching call, will it? Okay, it'll be a matching call instead. Thought it wasn't. Officials are still trying to sort this one out. So it's currently said Ziggy and a South Hadley player are on knees. Want to hear what the official has to say? So Ziggy will be on a knee for 30 seconds. South Hadley player will want to be on a knee for a minute. I believe South Hadley's penalty was a slash. Not sure what Ziggy's was yet. So flag picked up. Here we go. We're ready for business. Cardinals just trying to hang on for 4 minutes and 9 more seconds. And they're going to be heading into the final. And before we can do anything else, I think South Hadley's going to take a timeout. So South Hadley's going to take a pause. 4:08 to go. Can the Cardinals hang on? We'll find out next on Pope Prep. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to resume. Spalonga will hold it. 4:09 to go, fourth quarter. 11-7 the lead for Pope Francis. Here's Spalonga. Gage has it. Gage just going to quickly try to fire it in. The save's going to be made by South Hadley. South Hadley will try to move it in the other way. South Hadley with space, trying to work it up the field, but eventually it'll be Jason Reiser picking it up and moving it the other way with Rich Roy. Here's Roy. Roy with space, finds his man, Spalonga. Spalonga, ground ball, trying to fire on a shot. It'll eventually head back into the track with 3:32 to go in the fourth quarter. South Hadley will try to take it the other way. Clock running down. They've got to work quick if they want to even have a chance of coming back. Spalonga looking for defense, but eventually South Hadley will hold it. South Hadley player is down on a knee. And Spalonga sends a man flying. And it will be South Hadley possession, or will be Pope possession. South Hadley player is down, and he appears to be in some pain. Just threw a stick. He'll rightfully moving that camera. We'll step aside. A little bit of pain for a South Hadley player. Hopefully he's okay. Back in a second here on Pope Prep. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Cardinals can smell a finals appearance now, up 11-7. Zach Buffon will take it in. Cardinals with space up the field. 11-7. Cardinals have put this thing to bed. One more goal would officially be the capper. Roy over to Sprolonga. Less than 3 minutes to go now. Andrick has it for Pope. South Hadley's got to move to the ball. Cardinals are just going to waste time as long as they can. Here's Zach Buffon. Ziggy has it. Ziggy has it, moving it around. South Hadley still not much pressure. Cardinals just handling it in cleanly. Here's Wilansky. Mike Wilansky has it. Wilansky moving it around, trying to fire it in maybe. Wilansky looking for the dagger, can't find it. Cardinals will still try to get there, but eventually they do. It's Reiser. Reiser going to try to take it to the net. He'll eventually cut back, still waste more time. Wilansky has it. Here's Mike. Mike Wilansky looking around, creating space, finds his man Roy trying to fire on a shot. He scores. There's your dagger, and that's it. Pope Francis is going to be heading to the final. Rich Roy with an excellent day for this team. And they're going to be playing in the final for Western Mass. Bad ending for South Hadley. It's going to be over for them. Now down 5, just too much in too little time for them. Gave a valiant effort today, but Pope Francis clearly superior. Dan Bez wins the draw cleanly. Cardinals will waste more time. It's Rich Roy. Roy with space, trying to fire at a shot. And eventually it'll be kicked back. Cardinals still with possession. South Hadley, I'm not sure why they aren't pressuring. As eventually it goes into the stick of Reiser. 1:40 to go. Cardinals can start thinking about the victory parade they're going to have heading to the final. South Hadley will hold possession here. Or will it be Pope possession? We'll see. 1:36 to go, fourth quarter. It's going to be a win today for Pope Francis. They're going to head to the final. Dan Bez with good work today in the face-off position for Pope Francis. Taking draws, winning them cleanly, and created some scoring chances as well. Wilansky over to Andrick. Andrick to Jarrell. Here's Jacob. Jake Jarrell. Connor. Connor moving it around to Wilansky. Wilansky back over to Andrick. Andrick moving it around, creating space to Reiser. Reiser kicking it back. Cardinals with nice ball movement and nice possession here. Here's Sprolonga going to try to fire in a shot. It'll head out of bounds. 1:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Cardinals will still hold. Sprolonga, less than a minute to go. Cardinals trying to cap it off with another goal. That would really be just more trouble, as instead the Cardinals were aiming for the bench. They were aiming for the South Hadley bench. And it's way out of bounds. It'll be Cardinal possession. I believe it was South Hadley aiming for their own bench, actually. Before we can do anything else, we got another whistle. A stoppage. 49.4 seconds to go. We'd like to thank Caleb Gomet for his hard work today. Andrew Sarazina, Henry Huey as well, taking care of business on the road at Granby. South Hadley's going to be 2 players short now. So for South Hadley, the run's going to come to an end here. At least for their Western Mass hopes. Reiser will work it in. 45 seconds to go in this game today. Cardinals, it's been their day. Molansky has it. Here's Mike closing seconds. Roy trying to fire on a shot. And we'll head out of bounds. It'll be Cardinal possession still. Clock will stop with 31.5 to go. Molansky holding possession. Finds his man. It's Spalaga. Going to try to fire on a shot. Heads out of bounds again with 19.6 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, start spreading the news. The Cardinals are gaining interest in heading to the final. South Hadley. Run comes to an end here. It's Pope Francis's day. They earned it. Reiser tried to put one in just for some more giggles and fun. But that's it. 10 seconds to go. South Hadley will look for something. They're not going to be able to do much. The Cardinals, ladies and gentlemen, they are just too good right now. Too hot. South Hadley going to try to add one more. They can't. That's it. Game's over. Cardinals win. They are heading to the final. Valiant performance by Matt Davis in net. And the final is 12-7. The Cardinals are going to be Western Mass finalists. Coming up, 12-7, the win for the Pope Francis Cardinals. For Caleb Gilmet, I'm A.J. Gonsalves, the voice of the Cardinals, saying so long from Springfield.